So we have the ultimate $300 budget build PC for you today. Completely used was the rule for us in this video, but I got to thinking, we live in South Africa and prices are different here than they are to the States. So I decided to make this a little competition. You see, I contacted Zach from Zach's Tech Turf a bit over a month and a half ago about this idea that I had, and he graciously agreed to come on as the competitor for this $300 build off to see, with $300 used, what can you build in America versus what you can build here in South Africa. The rules were pretty simple. Pick up whatever you can. Everything has to be used. No insanely good once in a lifetime deals. You can't get a 1060 for $20. He's been saying that on his channel. He picked that up from me. I said that to him, okay? You know what? So, Zach, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you think you're gonna be able to do with that $300? I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to introduce yourself and why people should sub to you, even though they should sub to you anyways, because you're probably like one of the best up and coming tech YouTubers, so.
First off, thank you for having me, Brett. It's much appreciated. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Zach from Zach's Tech Turf, and I make PC hardware videos just like Brett. Or at least I try to. Not all of my videos turn out as good as his, but then again, he does have like 19 employees. He's sponsored by every hardware company on the planet right now. He raises money to shave his head, and he cheats during build competitions. But yeah, this is my used $300 gaming PC build from America, and it's pretty baller. For a quick sneak peek, this thing is based around the Dell Optiplex 9010, which I found for a pretty decent deal, which is rocking an i5-3570. I threw 16 gigabytes of RAM in there, which I found a last minute deal on, and that's an XFX RX 480 8GB graphics card.
All right, that's enough of Zach. We don't need to hear from him. Go subscribe to his channel. You guys can see his video on his build and everything that he did and what he got, and we'll be comparing specs and performance and all of that kind of stuff. But before we get into all of that, let me tell you about today's video sponsor, Skillshare. In case you haven't heard of Skillshare, they're an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, in business, in technology, and more. Their premium membership gives you unlimited access to high quality classes from experts working in their fields, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. One of the classes that I'm most interested in are the ones about machine learning and how to, especially this one that says demystifying it, because artificial intelligence, machine learning is coming up hot and heavy, and getting a handle on that before it comes and it is involved in every part of our life more than it is now. Probably a good thing for me and you guys. And the best part, my friends, especially since you're watching a $300 used PC thing, is that they are affordable. They're more affordable than most learning platforms out there, with an annual subscription being less than $10 a month. So right now, Skillshare is giving away a 2-month free trial to the first 500 people who sign up using the link in the video description. That's skl.sh/UFD Tech. You don't have to remember it. We'll leave the link in the video description, as well as the pinned comment. So big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and making sure that we need to increase our knowledge, because I'm about to learn some knowledge in this video on building a $300 PC. Bad transition, I'm sorry. So let me walk you through what I was able to pick up. And the reason this took us a month and a half was I was trying to find something that actually fit in our budget. It wasn't a once in a lifetime deal, but it was something that finally came along to work out pretty well. You see, it's this HP ProDesk, I think it's called a G2, and it has nearly everything we need. It's an inverted case. It came with a CPU, a motherboard, some RAM, and a hard drive, and a power supply. So all we had to do, really, was to pick up a new power supply to power the graphics card that we picked up. In this thing, we've got a Core i5-4590S, which is a little bit slower than a normal i5, but it's gonna be fine. We have 4 gigs of RAM, and we have this power supply that's going bye-bye, and we have this 500 gig hard drive. This is as bare bones as you're gonna be able to get. And the reason we don't have 8 gigs is just because with $300, that comes out to 4,200 Rand. I spent every single penny. The entire thing that I spent exactly 4,200 Rand. If I wanted to get an extra 4 gigs of RAM, that would cost me at least 300 to 400 Rand more, because I think this is DDR3. Anyways, 300 to 400 Rand more, which puts me over budget. We had to stay under 300 bucks. And this was the best I can do with the time I had and the money allocation we had. So i5 as the base of the system with 4 gigs of RAM. It's not a horrible system, it's not great either, but for $300, it's gonna do really well. Then we also picked up this Thermaltake 530 watt Smart SE power supply. It has two 8-pins. That's exactly all we need. 530 watts is gonna be fine because my friends, South Africa, while we might not be good on other parts, we do get things like this Galax Hall of Fame thanks to Wootware and them picking these up and selling these here in South Africa. And one of the things that happened in South Africa is we got hit with the mining bug too. So plenty of people picked up way more graphics cards than they needed, and once the mining was gone, the prices on used cards came down to basically American levels when it comes to used graphics cards. So the rest of the system might not be priced as competitively as what I'm sure Zach was able to pick up. I actually don't even know. He hasn't told me yet as I'm filming this video. So I think he probably has a better CPU. He probably has 8 gigs of RAM. And I could probably even think he might fit a 120 gig SSD in there, but we got a 970 and that makes me happy. He probably picked up something similar. It's not too hard, but the fact that we got a 970 Hall of Fame, I'm hoping to overclock this and potentially pick up some wiggle room in the victory at the end with the video games with this thing. So here it is. Here are the raw components. Now it's time for us to construct this and build the ultimate $300 gaming PC. At least South Africa version. You want America, go to Zach. Let's take off everything that could get in the way. How do I get this out? I have to jab it. You ready? Oof. Oh, that feels, that feels off. So the card should just, shut up, okay? Shut up, don't say anything. Okay, I can make it fit, okay? I gotta make some experiments happen. There we go, perfect. When I'm trying to rotate it, I need to get it above this fold. No cables at all. Give me the rotate, yes! Yes. Oh, that's terrible. That's bad.
Can you Dremel that out?
We don't have a Dremel. Okay, I know I can, what was that? I'm gonna have to remove this right here, which we're gonna have to go somewhere besides our ProTech toolkit. I have just the solution. For one reason or another, we have bolt cutters in the office. Clean off this chassis. These are bad bolt cutters. They don't come together perfectly. That's as much as they go. Gosh dang it. Oh, this is awful. Honestly, I'm just gonna get rid of this entire Integris piece right here because we don't need any of this, and I need to power my graphics card. This is what happens when you don't have proper tools out in the office. You start coming to dumb ideas and bad reasoning. This sucks. Okay, let's see what else we have. Diagonal cutters. That's not really doing anything. Oh, tore it, yeah. With the bolt cutters started, these diagonal cutters are gonna finish. I only have rusted tools apparently. Oh gosh, we should buy real tools, especially if we're gonna be doing crap like this. I was gonna resell this afterwards too. You think somebody's gonna buy it? I mean, this is a one-of-a-kind UFD Tech original. Like, somebody should want this, right? Probably should have taken out the hard drive too. There's a lot of probablys and shouldas. Not enough action. Plier this puppy. Yes! All right, and then let's go ahead and bend it at the, there we go. That is everything we needed it to be right now. Sharp metal that can give me tetanus any day. Done.
Hold up
What?
the trophy.
Oh geez, that sharp metal is not gonna be a friend to me. All right, it's getting caught on the metal, but that's fine. Perfect. We got space for power cables to come in. Okay, power supply time. It is gonna get no airflow in this system. None whatsoever. The fan is up there. It's getting nothing. Hopefully it won't burn up and die. I should have checked and see if I can fit the modular cables in. I don't know, I think I should have the graphics card installed first before I do any of this. Everything should be, that's gonna be an issue. We're gonna have to cable tie that stuff. All of these droopy cables are gonna fall into the fan on the graphics card. No, actually, so Reese, if you wanna come in here, what's gonna happen is there's these fan guards right here, and these fans are just gonna hit the fan guard. cables are gonna hit the fan guards. We'll be fine. Alrighty then, now it's time to actually power everything. Let's get the hardest one first, which is gonna be this 24 pin. Let's get it over these stabby parts. This is so bad. Oh, heavens. All right, looks like it's in and totally fine. I didn't include cable ties in the budget, unfortunately. I spent all 4,200 Rand that I had on components, not thinking that I might have to get some stuff out of the way like this. Should we boot it up with the side panel off? Probably. That's probably a good idea. That's a mess. I created the best $300 gaming PC I could. Hall of Fame turns on. Let's go. Oh, let me plug in the display connector. That might be helpful. Hey, screen turns on. Okay, so next step is installing the games, benchmarking them, getting the scores, and then comparing them against Zach, who's gonna go down, because this Hall of Fame, even though it can't breathe, it's gonna run like a puppy on steroids. That's a really bad analogy. I've never seen a puppy on steroids. Hopefully you haven't either. Okay, cut. Benchmarking's finally over. We got everything to run properly. We even got the side panel on this thing, and Zach finished his benchmarking as well, which I can't recommend enough. If you want to see his scores, go over to his channel, check the video there. We'll leave his scores up to what you want, but the clear thing that happened here is that I lost. So I did my best to overclock this 970. We got about 75 extra megahertz on the core and 600 extra megahertz on the RAM. But, you know, didn't really matter except for in Time Spy because we ran into a little bit of a bottleneck with that 4 gigs of RAM. As you can see in games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, our 1% and 0.1% lows basically reflect the numbers I just said. 0 and 0.1, pretty bad as far as what's actually happening in terms of benchmarks. You can even see it right here live. The RAM maxing out at 3.6 gigabytes. It's not enough. We needed 8. And you can see it's stuttering all over the place here. GPU memory is fine. GPU utilization somewhere between 60 and 100% sometimes. CPU's fine, but it's really the RAM that is a major bottleneck here. Other scores, Far Cry, Rainbow Six Siege, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, those are all the games that we decided to test with Zach because we shared the same games, and that way it would allow us to just set the settings and have something that's easily replicatable, especially since he's in America, I'm in South Africa. We can't just like do the same benchmark runs one for one. But yeah, wholeheartedly lost, and I think there's a couple things that I learned from this $300 build system that I did with Zach. One is that America definitely has a lot better pricing than we do. The GPU price wasn't too bad, but then on the rest of the system, this is one of the best deals I found for what I got, but I still only have 4 gigs of RAM. Honestly, having 8 gigs of RAM and a GTX 960 probably would have given me a lot better results when it came to the gaming benchmarks. However, as far as what system I would rather build, honestly, I would rather build this with the 970, the i5-4590S, and then just save up, sell my possessions, sell other things in order to get that extra $25 to $30 that I need for that extra 4 gigs of RAM, which is how much it costs here. It's about 300 to 400 Rand for me to get another 4 gigs to up this to 8 gigs, and we wouldn't be dealing with this crap of it running at 1 FPS at the beginning of the benchmark because it just has not enough RAM anywhere. CPU is fine, it's a RAM bottleneck. This is bad. So building a PC for $300 in South Africa, it's possible. It's not necessarily the best PC that you're gonna get. $330 is probably a better price point for what we can have. And even though I cheated, like Zach mentioned earlier in the video, I decided not to include shipping in my pricing, even though he did, and I didn't tell him that I was doing it. I still couldn't cheat well enough to get something that was comparable. So for anybody who talks about how expensive their PCs are in the country that they live in, I think me and Zach really wanted to do this video to show you that we understand, like, a $300 system in the States is not the same as a $300 system here in South Africa, but it's also not too far off. If you spend about like 5 to 10% more, you get roughly within the same region of performance, as long as, you know, your country was also hit by the mining bug, and then there's 970s out floating on the internet for $105 or so. Anyways, so that's that's it for this video. Big thanks to Zach for working with us on this. We definitely wanted to show you what it was like, not so much a competition, but just what the pricing disparity is with a $300 system. Big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and allowing us to actually have the money to be able to buy the $300 system. You can check them out at the link in the video description, skl.sh/UFD Tech. And the first 500 people to sign up get a 2-month free trial. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this kind of video where you get to see what we build with a small used budget. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content, not just necessarily this. Get subscribed to Zach's Tech Turf. He's probably gonna destroy us at some point, so look out for him on the up-and-coming tech YouTube scene. And if you're in South Africa and you want to rebuy this, once I put an extra 4 gigs of RAM in here, let me know. Hit me up. I'm gonna be selling this probably on Carbonite, which is where I picked up all of the used parts anyways. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. Thank you so much for watching. See your smiling faces again in the next video. Love you too. Bye. Check out Zach. Go, link. Bye. Not me. You're done with me. Go to Zach. Bye. Go. You know you wanna. Don't you wanna?